In this video, we'll be seeing in brief about the derivatives. This is a very short video wherein I will be explaining about the different terms or particularly the definitions of various derivatives. So let's see what are the types of derivatives we have. We have okay forwards. Forwards is a customized contract between two parties, wherein one party will try to sell a particular asset to another party on a specific date in the future at today's pre-agreed price. Whereas futures is standardized. Standardized contract is a special type of forward contract indeed, but it is standardized. In the forward, I can sell, let's say, if I'm buying oil, I can buy any number of oil. Like I can buy 101 barrels of oil or 98 barrels of oil. But the number is up to me to buy. There is no fixed limit. But in the case of futures, there is a certain standard limit beyond which you cannot buy. There is a fixed denomination. I can buy only 100 crude oil if the future contracts say 100, not 98 or not 1. Nothing more, nothing less. And also in the case of forward contract, it is a over the counter contract, but the futures are usually traded in the stock exchanges. So if since it is over the counter contract and also only two parties are involved, the risk is very high. If the counterparty defaults, then the loss has to be borne entirely by the other party. But in the case of futures, it is not so. The risk is covered since it is happening in a stock exchange. So at any time, we will always have a buyer who will be ready to accept our exercising of our option, our futures. So not option, it's a future. Okay, and option is a contract which gives a right, but not an obligation to buy or sell. The main keyword is it gives a right, but not an obligation. To Not an obligation to buy or sell the underlying asset at a stated date and at a stated price. While the buyer of an option pays a premium, the seller receives a premium. And also the buyer gets the right to exercise his option, whereas the seller is entitled to sell or buy the asset if the buyer exercises option on it. So options are of two types, that is call option and put option. So let's take call option. Call option gives the buyer, okay, is used by the buyer, a right to buy, but not the obligation to buy a given quantity of the underlying asset at a given price on or before a future date. Let's say like there is Apple stock, currently it is trading at 100 rupees in the market. So a call option buyer will buy an option premium for rupees 1. So wherein this option premium is valid for let's say 3 months. So what happens is, so for 3 months you will be observing the price of the Apple. Let's say at the end of the second month, the Apple price was 110. Then if the call option buyer exercises the option, then you'll be paying only 101 rupees after second month, even though it is 110 rupees. But so here in this transaction, you will be gaining 9 rupees. This is the one of the important advantage of the call option. But what if the price of the Apple after 2 months or after 3 months it was you know 98 rupees? So in this case, the call option buyer will not exercise the option of uh, buying this Apple stock. Indeed, he will maintain the status quo. So here he is losing only 1 rupees. So this is a way the call option is used to hedge the risk in case if it is the market is pessimistic rather than being optimistic. Let's take put. Put is the opposite of call. It is actually used by the seller. So here the put option gives the seller the right but not the obligation to sell a given quantity of underlying asset at a given price on or before a future date. So let's see about the warrants. This is the only one that is left. So warrants are a type of options only. Options generally have lives up to 1 year usually. Okay, 1 year life. But majority of the options traded on the exchanges have maximum maturity of 9 months. So long dated options are called warrants, and they are generally OTC, over the counter, not standardized. Now let's see about option premium. At the time of buying an option contract, the buyer has to pay a premium or the price to buy that contract, right? That is called option premium. So premium is a price for acquiring the right to buy or sell. It is a price paid by the option buyer to the option seller for acquiring the right to buy or sell. So they are always paid, okay, upfront. Means they are paid whenever you are actually buying this contract, option contract. Now let's see what is commodity exchange. A commodity exchange, it is actually association, wherein um, which actually involves in futures trading of commodities. It is actually a organized marketplace where the trade is routed through one mechanism, again allowing okay effective competition among buyers and sellers. So and then we have commodity. So what is commodity? So commodity, according to Forward Contracts Regulation Act of 1952, it defines all the goods as every kind of movable property as then actionable claims, which are money and securities. So futures trading is organized in such goods or commodities, and they are actually permitted by the central government. At present, so if you take the present scenario, all the goods and the products of agricultural, mineral, and fossil, mineral, and fossil origin are allowed for futures trading under the uh, auspices of this Commodity Exchanges Act. And we have commodity derivatives market, which is based on the commodity. So commodity derivative market trade contracts for which the underlying asset is the commodity. That's it. Very simply put, okay, the underlying asset is commodity. That's it. Based on which certain contracts will be exercised or derivatives will be exercised. It can be an agricultural commodity like wheat, soybeans, cotton, or it may be even the precious metals, as I said, or it can be even minerals like gold, silver, which are metals in fact, and it can be even fossil fuels like petrol, gas. So then, what is the difference between the commodity and the financial derivatives? However, if you see the basic definitions of derivative contracts remains the same whether the underlying asset happens to be commodity or financial asset. However, there are some features which are very peculiar or very common, which are very unique to the commodity derivatives market. In the case of financial assets, if you take the contracts are usually okay cash settled. Okay, in the case of financial listing, but in the case of commodity, it is actually a physical settlement will be there. In the physical settlement in the sense, um, which are usually let's say like if there is a cotton commodity, then there will be actual delivery of cotton commodity happening. So due to the bulky nature of the underlying asset, okay, concept of warehousing comes into picture. So this exchange houses, the commodity exchange houses, will be having a warehouse wherein they will be storing those physical underlying assets. But whereas in the case of financial assets, there is only cash settlement, which doesn't need any okay special warehousing facility for storage. And similarly, the concept of varying quality of the asset does not really exist in the case of financial assets. But in the case of commodity, the underlying assets quality um, can vary at times. So these are the major differences between the commodity and the financial derivatives. And this is what I want to convey in this video, and thank you for watching this video. There will be a future video wherein I will be discussing in detail about equity derivatives, currency derivatives, and so on.